You're not weak, you're overloaded. And the more aware you become, the more exhausting people start to feel. It's like you walk into a room with a full battery and somehow leave completely drained even when nothing bad happened. You've probably asked yourself, why does this keep happening to me? In this video, you're going to uncover the real reason behind this hidden drain. And once you see it clearly, you'll never experience people the same way again. Because what's actually happening beneath the surface is far deeper than you think. And it's already changing the way you interact with the world. It starts quietly. You don't notice it at first. Conversations feel normal. Interactions feel routine and everything seems fine on the surface. But then something shifts. The same conversations that once felt easy now feel heavy. The same people you used to spend hours with now feel like they're pulling energy out of you without even trying. You smile, you respond, you stay present. But inside there's a subtle exhaustion building up that you can't explain. And the strange part is, it doesn't come from conflict, it comes from normal interactions. That's what makes it confusing. But what if the drain isn't coming from what's happening on the outside, but from something deeper happening within you that you haven't fully recognized yet? Because here's where everything begins to change. As your awareness grows, you stop experiencing conversations at a surface level. You start noticing the gaps, the difference between what people say and what they actually mean. You pick up on tone shifts, hidden tension, forced laughter, unspoken frustration. And your mind doesn't just register it, it processes it. All of it. At the same time. It's like your brain is running in the background, decoding every layer of the interaction, while you're still trying to stay engaged in the moment. And that constant processing? It quietly drains your energy in a way most people will never understand. But that's only one piece of the puzzle. Because the real weight doesn't come from noticing. It comes from what you do after you notice. You start adjusting yourself. You soften your tone, you choose your words carefully. You try to keep the conversation smooth. You become more aware of how others feel than how you feel. And without realizing it, you begin to carry the emotional weight of the interaction. Not because anyone asked you to, but because your awareness makes it almost automatic. And over time, that habit turns into a silent burden. You leave conversations not just mentally tired, but emotionally heavy. And the more you do this, the more you start wondering, why does it feel like I'm always the one giving more energy than I receive? And then comes the moment that most people miss. It's not just about awareness, it's about misalignment. When your internal state becomes calm, focused, and intentional, but the environment around you is scattered, reactive, and inconsistent, your system goes into overdrive trying to stay balanced. You're not just present in the interaction, you're compensating for it. You're stabilizing it, and that takes energy. A lot of it. It's like trying to stay still in a moving vehicle. Your body is constantly making small adjustments just to keep you steady, and eventually that effort catches up with you. But what happens when you stop trying to stabilize everything around you? That's where the real shift begins. Because another layer of this drain comes from something even more subtle, the pressure to stay engaged when your energy is already low. You feel it in those moments where you want to step back, but you don't. You stay. You listen. You respond. Not because you want to, but because you feel like you should. You don't want to seem distant. You don't want to disrupt the flow. So you push through, ignoring the signals your mind is giving you. And every time you do that, you send yourself a message, your energy comes second. That pattern builds quietly, interaction after interaction, until one day you realize, okay, it's not the people that are draining you, it's the fact that you're not listening to yourself around them. But if that's true, then what would happen if you finally did? Now here's where it gets even more interesting. The more aware you become, the less tolerance you have for conversations that lack depth, direction, or meaning. You're no longer satisfied with surface-level exchanges that go in circles. Your mind starts seeking clarity, insight, something real. And when it doesn't find it, it disengages even if you're still physically present. That internal disconnection creates friction. You're there, but not really there. And maintaining that split state, that's exhausting. It's like trying to run two systems at once, one on the outside, one on the inside. And the longer it continues, the heavier it feels. But what if the solution isn't to force deeper conversations, but to change how you approach them entirely? Because here's the truth most people never realize. Not every interaction deserves your full depth. Not every conversation requires your full attention, your full analysis, your full energy. Once you understand this, something shifts instantly. You stop over-investing. You stop trying to extract meaning from every exchange. You allow some conversations to simply exist without needing to go deeper. And that alone starts reducing the pressure you've been placing on yourself. But there's still something else that continues to drain you, something that doesn't even happen during the interaction itself. It happens after, when the conversation is over, but your mind is still running, replaying what was said, analyzing tone, questioning meaning, thinking about what you could have said differently. That mental loop doesn't just take seconds, it can last for hours. And each time you revisit it, you're using energy that you never get back. Most people walk away from a conversation and move on. But you carry it with you. And over time, that becomes one of the biggest sources of exhaustion. Not the interaction, but the echo it leaves behind. And once you see this clearly, you start to realize something that changes everything. You were never drained because you're too sensitive. You were drained because your awareness expanded faster than your boundaries. You learned how to see more, feel more, understand more, but you were never taught how to filter it. And without that filter, everything comes in at full intensity. Every tone shift, every emotion, every inconsistency, all of it hits you at once. And your system doesn't know how to prioritize what matters and what doesn't. That's where the overload happens. But the moment you build that filter, everything starts to change in a way you didn't expect. Because now, instead of absorbing everything, you start choosing what deserves your attention. You stay present, but you're no longer pulling everything into your internal world. You let certain things pass without engaging. You hear without holding. You observe without absorbing. And that subtle shift, it protects your energy in a way that feels almost effortless. But there's still one final piece that most people overlook. And it's the one that unlocks everything else. Your environment. The people, conversations, and spaces you keep returning to. Growth changes your internal world first. But if your external environment stays the same, you'll keep experiencing the same drain. You can't expect a different feeling from the same patterns. And once you realize that, you stop forcing yourself into spaces that no longer match your energy. You don't make it dramatic. You don't cut people off aggressively. You simply adjust your presence. Less time, less engagement, less investment. And over time, that quiet shift creates a completely different experience. And here's the part that changes everything. The more you protect your energy, the more powerful it becomes. Your presence feels stronger. Your focus becomes sharper. You're no longer scattered across every interaction. You're intentional, grounded, clear. And people start noticing it, even if they don't understand it. Because when you stop giving your energy away unconsciously, it starts working for you instead of against you. So if you've been feeling drained around people, don't rush to label it as a flaw. Look at it as a signal, a sign that your awareness has grown, and now it's time for your boundaries to catch up. Because the moment you start protecting your energy with intention, everything shifts. Conversations feel lighter, your mind feels quieter, and that constant exhaustion you once carried, it fades. Now here's your next step. The next time you're in an interaction, don't just focus on the conversation, focus on your energy. Notice when it drops. Notice when you start over-engaging. And instead of pushing through, adjust. Step back mentally. Reduce the effort. Let things be simple. Because once you learn how to stay present without absorbing everything, you stop feeling drained by people, and you start moving through the world with a level of clarity and control that most people never reach.